Well, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming back for another episode of Land for Success. And today we have a very special guest that I'm going to introduce in a minute. But in the meantime, if you could do me a huge favor, type a one. Okay, if you're here for the very first time on one of our podcasts here, Land for Success, type a one in the comment. Number one, we can acknowledge you for so we can actually acknowledge you for being here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comment as well. So I want to introduce you to someone that I recently met through a very good friend of mine, Kareem, from the Waterfront Awards. And as you may know, over the years, there have been so many amazing women in the GTA that we've been recognizing for outstanding achievement. Well, when it comes to community activism, I can't think of a better person right now to be able to join us today and share with her experiences, not even today, just as a solicitor barrister, and the experience she has today. But I want to see if she can even go back as far as talking about how she got started in community activism, what inspired her from her teenager to today. So please help me welcome our special guest today, Christine Roth.
Thank you.
Christine, welcome. And we also have Dayana Stanislaus with us here as well, my co-host. Dayana, you may be on mute, Dayana.
Thank you, Gordon, for having me as well on this fun-filled chat. It's always good to learn and know about people. Congratulations for getting nominated for the Waterfront Awards, Christine. And I'm also looking forward to hear a lot of interesting things about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, all of you. And it's humbling. It's an honor. And there are many other people, other women that may have done what I do or may have done a lot more, and we have not heard their names. So to be known and to be noticed is not only an honor, but also is extremely humbling. Thank you. I come from a diverse background, but most important part of how I became the person that I became is that I was born in Iran. The environment was never in terms of totally on par with the Western world, but it was not far behind it either. Once the Islamic coup d'etat happened, women lost their voices, their power, their safety, their security. And I was young, I was in school, but it mattered to me that we don't be pushed around. I started writing for my church. I was writing poetry. I was on the streets when there were marches against the Islamic regime. And I was quite active. And it was not just about me. It was about everyone and about every girl, every woman. I was never in terms of my goal was not just about girls and women, it was about everyone. Every human has a right to feel safe, to feel free, and not to be forced to do something or to say something just because out of fear for one's safety. This is how I started very organically, and obviously by the time I probably was the youngest on the blacklist of the regime once they took office. Eventually, my death warrant was issued. I did face torture here and there a couple of times, burnt hands, broken toe. I was stoned in a demonstration, all of that. And eventually I had to leave.
Christine, this is Gordon. That is incredible. That's something like you think you only see in a movie, like, but this was real. Like this was real in your life.
Yeah, it was real, and the sad part is still is happening.
Wow.
The sheer number of people, especially women, being killed in the past few months alone in Iran is just sad. It's devastating, and unfortunately, we can say all we want in supporting them, but really, we can't achieve what needs to be achieved. And that's a reality. It's a very sad reality.
Wow. That's well, I totally agree with you, Christine. That's reality, and we do try our best to do what we can from our end, but
Yes.
there are only certain things that we can do, and so much we can do. And you are one of them who is trying your best to do whatever you can to be a supportive person to your community and to all human being here. So tell us a little bit about that's impressive. Tell us a little bit about your what are you currently involved in trying to be a supportive person in regards to what's happening in Iran right now?
Well, really, there is, other than sharing and voicing, concerns and spreading the word, there's not much that I can do. But what I can do is not only about what is happening in Iran, is also what is happening in Canada. People who need help, people who have mental health issues. As a lawyer, I have dealt with the issue with respect to my clients. I can't even tell you how many times, how many clients. It is the sad reality is that most of people who end up in our justice system, a really legal system, is as a result of underlying mental health issues. Sometimes that brings them to family court. Sometimes that brings them, most of the time, to criminal courts. Sometimes it's a matter of human rights fighting the companies with big money, or either federally connected or federally regulated, and the employee has to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get justice because he or she was discriminated against because of her or his disability.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, that disability is mental health. Because
Right.
mental health is not like, okay, there is an x-ray, there is this test, there is that test, you have cancer or you have diabetes.
Right.
No, it takes a lot of physical examinations in many of mental health issues, especially if it is a somatic symptom disorder, that everything manifests as pain and as all kinds of failure of organs, but the organs are okay.
Mm-hmm.
That means there is mental health going on there.
Right.
That is causing it. The mental health is triggering the brain to the nervous system to behave the way it's behaving. It takes years before they are actually diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a vast area. Certainly, I'm not saying I'm qualified to talk about diagnosis of mental health, but I have dealt with mental health issues for clients. A lot happens, becomes a domestic issue.
Right.
Sometimes the accused is actually the victim, and
Mm-hmm.
complainant has mental health issues, and the problem becomes then somebody else is accused, whereas the accused really is the victim. It can be quite complex. So what I do my best to do more than, okay, what do they say, what do you say, let's see how we can cut a deal and how we can help you out. We actually have to do a lot more than that. That kind of led to, also, for example, for a while I was chair of Northumberland Community Counseling Center while it was around, because that was a community center dealing with mental health issues. That's why I am with Ontario Bar Association, to do what I can to have a better access to justice. It's all kind of intertwined and together. There is no one thing you do and that is all we do. We have to do what we can with whatever avenue is available to us. And that is how we hope to make even a dent in the system, to bring it more from a legal system to justice system.
Christine, by dealing with these things, you yourself would be going through a lot of mental stress, handling these things, and it's not easy. Could you give us a few points? How are you handling your mental stress level? So go ahead.
Well, it all depends, for example, who you have around you, right? Not everybody has family. That becomes. Sometimes friends are better than family. Sometimes friends are in place of family. So if you are connected to somebody, even for 2 minutes to just rant and talk, that takes that edge off. If you have a child and you go home, no matter how late you get home, that little squeeze, of a hug, it kind of, and for me, I don't talk about work stress with my child. She's only 8 years old. It's too much for her. So because I don't want to, and therefore I feel I can't talk about these things with her unless at her own level, if the issue arises, then that is my time to put it all out, leave it in the office, and for those moments, minutes, hours, just be a mom. And that helps. Not only your child needs you, but you need your child to buffer between the world with a child than the world that not always is pretty. And sometimes also when you see the outcome that you helped somebody, the thank you that comes your way kind of washes away the ugliness and live for a few minutes. So it's life. Life is a balancing act. You just have to accept it. It's like when you are grieving. You grieve, you get angry, all of those stages, and then you move on. And you just have to constantly first allow yourself to react uh, when you need to, have that private place that you can do so you don't keep it all in. And then once you do in that private space, it's out and it's healthy. And that's how you balance it.
Absolutely. And we're living in a world where, I'm sorry, there is a technical issue going on, and I'm not sure if we're hearing a noise at the back, but we're trying to fix it. Are you hearing me properly, Christine?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you are. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. It's always Gordon. Like it's great what Christine is saying and the
Absolutely.
tips that she's saying. It's amazing. Is there something that you would like to ask her?
Yeah, I do. And in terms of the echo, I think
We could.
when I have you on mute right now, Christine, the echo is not there. But when I
Oh,
put you back on, that's when I hear the noise. So let's see if I can ask you one more question. And if the noise persists, we may have to reset the interview and do it another time because your information is so amazing, right? What you share with me, Christine, when I read the article of one of your past interviews, I read one of your past interviews, Christine, and then what you actually told about what actually some of the things that happened to you, I'm like, oh my goodness. No one should ever have to go through what you went through. Right. And when you are being nominated for community activism, I can see why. But it's not what happened, just what happened in Iran. But Iran's right here at home too. Right. So if I could share a quick story, and then I got a question for you. And if the sound's good, we'll continue. If not, we maybe reschedule for another time. My dad used to always say, people always say, because my dad was born in China, moved to Hong Kong, we immigrated here. Says everyone wants to be a missionary in China, but in the meantime, they can't go down to the local Chinese laundry mart and be a missionary here.
Oh,
right. Which there's needs here. There's needs here at home too, and you are doing so. As a human being, as a mom, as a lawyer, there are so many amazing things that you are actually doing right now. And so for the folks who are watching, please do go to the Waterfront Awards and you can vote like all day. Just vote, tell your friends and vote for Christine, because at the Waterfront Awards gala, it'll be a beautiful red carpet event. You're going to have an amazing time. Ladies, I recommend you bring your high heels. It is going to be an incredible evening. So I'm going to put your sound back on, Christine. Yeah, I think that the sound is there. I don't think folks are going to be able to hear you properly. Could you do me one favor, Christine? Could you exit?
Yes.
And then come back on, and let's see if we can hear that sound.
Yeah, because the only thing is that I see that your sound is breaking and coming back. But the rest of the sounding system to me seems okay, but your sound breaks and comes back.
Yeah.
So I will exit and come back.
Yes. Please.
That was fantastic, Gordon. And Christine is a very brave woman, and it's so inspiring to be speaking with women like Christine, which really inspires women like myself and others. Oh, she's back.
That was quick. Well, you know what? The sound actually sounds much better, doesn't it,
Much
Christine?
better, yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Christine, I wanted to ask you, look, I know you're a lawyer, you're a barrister, but you're also a mom.
Yes.
Like you're a wife, you're a mom. How do you juggle that? Like people talk about life balance.
Well, you see, I went to law school as a mature student. We were living in Toronto, and then we wanted to start a family. It was expensive to stay in Toronto. We didn't have kind of old money or the kind of family with money to help us out. So we had to move and find a place that is more affordable. So we ended up in Coburg, small town. Now, not that small, but it was, something that we gave it a try because um, it was possible to have a nice Christian upbringing with a backyard for my child. And then we started a family here. In when I came to Canada, I got all kinds of college degrees until I was ready financially to go beyond. And then I went to law school, and um, obviously I was not a cookie cutter, so I didn't even get a proper articling job, but I was lucky that I offered my services for free, and I articled for someone who is now a judge, and I have great respect for him, and I believe from what he tells me, the respect is mutual. I knew I'm not going to get a job. I was not a cookie cutter, so I immediately started looking for an office. I opened my own law firm in 2004 in Toronto. I still have that office. And then in 2013, I opened the second office in Coburg. This pretty much was, I started taking whatever cases came my way in 2004 because I just had to pay the bills. But eventually that became part of my experience. And now I do criminal, family, civil, and federal Canadian human rights tribunal cases. In terms of life balance, we knew that my job requires me to be on all the time. Otherwise, there's no income. That happens when you run your own business, and law firm is also a business. I have overhead to pay. So right from the beginning, my husband has been quite hands-on, and I work during the day. If I can be home for supper, we have supper, and then he goes to work. He works in my office doing my IT and my accounting, and we kind of switch. And that is how we have been doing it. I still make sure that unless I am in the middle of a trial and I have long hours to put in, to be home for supper, and to be home for my daughter's bedtime routine. And certainly I'm home for the morning routine unless I'm away for business, totally another town or city. But we balance, and my daughter understands that it's not always daddy's work and mommies are always there. Sometimes it's the other way around. Mommies are working longer hours and daddies are more around. She understands that it's not, the rule is not dividing genders. Women do this, men do that. She appreciates that. She understands that. And that is very important for a girl to learn. Because we still, even in 2023, have people that think, but, when are you home with your child? Do you ask the same thing of a man? They don't, right?
Wow, that's a great question.
It's important for, especially we have only one child, and
Yeah.
that's a girl. It's important for a girl to know that those rules are not really rules.
Yes.
Yeah. It's 2023, right?
It I mean, if one studies history, thousands and thousands and thousands years ago, there were civilizations that
Mhm.
women actually were more
Yes.
in terms of power and working and all that, and men had a different role.
Right.
Somehow, human beings started creating this man being power, woman being gentle and at home. And that is a perception that was created, unfortunately, some may say by men, but clearly supported by women.
Yes.
The very first case in law school that grabbed me is a case that is known as Person's case,
Oh.
when women, Canadian women, fought to be called persons in law because women were not persons and therefore they did not have the same rights as men did. And this is like the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
This is not really that far behind us. And we have to realize that there were women that fought then for what we have now.
Yes.
And it is our job to make sure our children and the next generation not only understand that, but appreciate and cherish what we have and make it even better.
Right.
Equality.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yes, yes. And Christine, I think that's one of the reasons why this Waterfront Awards event is so wonderful, right? Where we can recognize women for their incredible achievements. You talked about immigration, and ironically, I just found this, right? My parents are both have now passed away, and when we first came to Hong Kong, I didn't have a passport, right? Because I came under my mom's passport, and then I just recently found this, and it's got a picture of me when I was 8 years old. And I didn't even realize, Christine, maybe it's a legal question I need to ask you. I actually have a British passport that says I'm a British citizen, but it's obviously expired. So I don't even know now, as an immigrant kid, Canadian citizen, can I even go back and maybe get a British passport? But my mom was my hero, right? Like, how many of us have strong moms that are heroes? And my sisters, I mean, thank goodness for sisters. I'm telling you, like, the trouble that I got into as a kid, I know I have a brother, but my sisters, I've had so many amazing women in my lives. Dayana, for example, with us in Land for Success, and Sutha yesterday. One of my themes is, surround yourself with people who lift you up, but surround yourself with women who can help lift you up. So I so appreciate you being here, Christine. And some of the things we're talking about, I know there's so many things we could deep dive into. Your love for helping, for example, folks if I could say, I don't know if that's the right term, but in the Indigenous community, right? Folks in the mental health and wellness industry, health and wellness industry, folks, like the health and wellness with everything that's going on with COVID and so on. You got so many things that I would love for you to come back another time, and perhaps have Dayana even deep dive into a conversation with more of some of the things that I know you're doing. Dayana, do you have any final questions for Christine?
I have one question to ask Christine. Christine, what would it mean to you to win this award?
Wow. Great question.
I think she's muted. Christine is muted.
Christine, you may be muted on your end.
Okay.
See how humble she is? See how humble is? You ask her, what would it mean to win this? And she's not even saying a word.
Well, I don't know if I will, but if I do, I mean, this is even more humbling. You know what I'm saying? Obviously it will be amazing because appreciation always is like recharges the person to do better, to do more. If I have this, if I am appreciated this way, then it's like I'm doing a reset, recharge of battery to do more,
Yeah.
to go beyond in things that I want to do for others, my passion for Indigenous people, my passion for human rights, my passion for people with disabilities, my passion simply for access to justice, and helping. Obviously, that will regenerate my
Right.
drive to do more. But I certainly will be also, as much as I will be recharged, I will be just as much humbled.
Nice. Thank you for the great answer, because we all think award is an award or appreciation is an appreciation, but that is something will support and help people like you to do even more and better, and also feel that humbleness and gratitude for what you're giving selflessly.
Thank you.
I love that. You said access for justice. I've never heard anyone say that. Access for justice.
Yeah.
Why don't we end on that in that note? What do you mean by
Access,
access to justice?
access to justice is, you see, right now we have a legal system.
Mm.
It's not quite a justice system. We need to do better. We need to make sure, for example, justice is not only punishment, justice is also healing.
Mm.
We have to look at how we can heal people so they don't keep on coming back in the system. We need to see if somebody is wronged within the civil system in terms of civil law, which is to private people, or sometimes a private person and the government, on issues that are outside of the criminal um, law. Then how can we make it better to streamline, to make a better balanced playing field for the parties, so somebody with a lot of money does not drive somebody with less unjustly to obscurity just because they can. There is a lot that we can talk about and try to make it better, because sometimes people think, well, access to justice is about criminal law, maybe family law. It's about law and people. Law is to serve people, and to serve people you have to make it in a way that people can actually access it, not fear it, and a system that can do a lot more and a lot better.
Mm.
It's a long, long road, but we need to walk it and get it done. And that
Wow.
is to
Wow.
justice.
Thank you so much, Christine. And even as Diana asked you about what would
To
it
yeah.
be like for you to if you were to win, and yet you come back with all these different ideas of how you can actually be of service to somebody else. So appreciate you so much, Diana. Any final thoughts you want to use to wrap up for us?
Good. Yes. We're good, but thank you, Gordon, for doing this, and it's great. I'm super excited to meet many, many like Christine that are being nominated for these Waterfront Awards, and looking forward to meet and learn and know about each one of them. And Christine, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you so much for your service and your business here in Canada.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely amazing.
I'm,
And I know who to call if I'm ever in trouble. Now I know who to call, right, Christine?
I'm so humbled, so grateful for this opportunity. And when there is no lose, but win or not, the path will not change. And
Wow.
hopefully we will continue to do what we can do to make this world a better place for everyone.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow. So once again, anyone, thank you so much. And please go to the Waterfront Awards and vote for Christine. And more importantly, come and meet her in person. You will absolutely love meeting her in person at the awards event as well. Thank you, everyone. Until the next time. Thank you, Dayana. Thank you, Christine. Have an amazing day, everyone.